Good morning, ultimate hustlers and digital empire builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking about overcoming trauma. I'm going to give you 15 tips on how to overcome trauma. Those negative events that happen in your life, some of us are holding on to them, and it's the very reason that we are losing in this game called life. So we're going to talk about how to overcome that trauma today. So do me a huge favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, ultimate hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities, and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally, or I've learned from, or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network, and when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Black Bear Success Mastermind Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're not familiar with the Black Bear Success Mastermind, it is the premier digital marketing mastermind where we're coming together to help Black people become the #1 employers of Black people. And the way we do that is by providing tools, tips, resources, knowledge, education, support to help entrepreneurs in our culture grow and scale their businesses to where they can hire. And one of the ways we are doing that is with the Black Biz Success app, the digital marketing, sales and marketing platform that allows you to bring automation into your business at an affordable cost. So if you like to join the mastermind where Black excellence is the expectation, all you got to do is text mastermind to 314-866-4053. We literally give away hundreds of dollars of free training and resources every single week to our members. And it's 100% free to join. Text your name and keyword mastermind to 314-866-4053. We're talking against all odds. How do you rebound? How do you bounce back? How do you deal with and overcome trauma? We did have a special guest lined up for today. Justin JD, the author, Reeves, was scheduled to be on. He had some technical difficulties, but we're going to continue with the theme of today's show because he has an amazing story of overcoming all odds to become a best-selling author. But we're going to talk about trauma today in his absence and some of the things that you can do to overcome trauma. I have certainly had my fair share of traumatic events in my life. We'll talk a little bit about that. So comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on without posting any links. We'd love to know what you got going on. Couple quick announcements before we get the show rolling. If you're an author, coach, trainer, speaker, course creator, or influencer,
and you need a sales funnel, would you like for me to tell you how you can get a sales funnel for free? Would you like for me to tell you? Well, guess what? I am actually building free sales funnels for any coach, consultant, author, influencer, speaker, or trainer who sign up for the Black Biz Success app. That's right. If you get the Black Biz Success app through my link, then I'm going to build you a sales funnel for free. If you need to see a couple examples of some of the funnels that I've built, I'd be happy to show them to you. But that is for coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, trainers. Let's see. JD says, I'm waiting in the room. Check your email, bro. I emailed you the link to StreamYard. You might have the link to Zoom. So do that for me. That way you can hop on. Yeah, if you have the link in the calendar, that might be the wrong link. So that is my bad, my friend. But I sent you the link to a StreamYard link where you're going to join so I can actually bring you on the screen. So I'm super excited that he's here. He's ready to roll. Another quick announcement. I am still looking for volunteer opportunities. Shout out to my girl, Bianca Shante. She connected me with a group where I'm actually going to adopt a veteran this holiday season. I'm excited about that, man. So super excited about that. And I've been asked to come down and share some words of encouragement and pray with some of the veterans as well. I'm looking for a few more opportunities to get my hands in the volunteer space. Also, I'm looking to volunteer for some churches or nonprofit organizations that are doing big things. And when I extend some of my marketing services to those guys. So if you know any of those guys, tag them in this video or share this video with them or jump in my inbox and make an introduction. I would love to be able to do that as well. And that wraps up my announcements for today. Let me just do this. I can pop you the link right here, JD, so that you can get it. All right. There you go, my friend. You can actually use that link to log in, and that'll put you right in the backstage, and I could bring you on there. Super excited that you are ready to roll. I'm going to post it in the email as well. There you go. All right. So as we're waiting on JD to jump into to the stream, and this is an important episode because we all go through things, and in life, it's not necessarily about where you start, right? It's not about what happens to you as much as it is how you deal with what happens to you. And this brother has an amazing story of overcoming some insurmountable or seemingly insurmountable odds to get him to where he is today. He's the author of the book called Post-Traumatic Streets Disorder. And hopefully we can get him in the room so that you guys can meet this brother, hear his heart. He's an amazing gentleman, and I can't wait for this interview. So he's coming on, getting the app all squared away and ready to go. So let's just pray that the technical issues are going to subside and bring the good brother on. And it looks like we've got him in the room. All right, so let me do this. Let me go here, bang. Let me go here. Let's see. Let me go here. Bang. And we ready. Looks like you got you got your family with you, bro. Is that what we doing? All right, let me bring y'all up.
Hey, y'all say hey real quick. Hey. Everybody say hey. Y'all have a good day in school. Love y'all.
All right. There the man is.
How you doing?
How you doing, brother? Welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, I know you got an amazing story and some things that we definitely got to get to. But the way we start the Cortez Hustle Show is we start with a quote of the day. And I'm going to share a quote. If you have your favorite quote that you like to share, then by all means, please share that with our audience, or you can just chime in on this one. But as I get up and I do my workouts, I do my meditations and my gratitude and all of that stuff, I'm always listening to something. And today I heard a quote from Steve Harvey. He said, "The moment you decide to bring someone else down, you stop your own progress. The moment you decide to bring somebody else down, you stop your own progress." So you can either chime in on that quote, or if you have your own quote you'd like to share, go ahead, brother.
No, the quote behind me, good things come to those who hustle. I read that every morning before I start my workouts, meditations and everything. It's just a daily reminder that if you want something, you got to go after it. Nothing is just gonna come to you.
Yeah, good things come to those who hustle. And you got to get up and grind. You got to get up and put in the work. And that's the mindset and mentality that you got to have every single day. I love that one as well. That is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Black Business Success Mastermind. If you're not part of a mastermind community where our like minds are coming together to help each and every one move to the next level, the Black Business Success Mastermind is where Black excellence is the expectation. Text Mastermind to 314-866-4053, and you can join a slew of other Black entrepreneurs doing their thing and helping one another get to the next level as well. So, Brother Justin, every person that comes on the Cortez Hustle Show, I ask them this very same question: who the heck are you?
I'm Justin, also known as JD, the author. I wrote my first book, which was released November 3rd. Sales been pretty good. I'm 29. I'm from New York City. Uh, I grew up in a pretty rough environment. I grew up in foster care, so I had to face a lot of hardships, a lot of obstacles. I had to overcome a lot of things to get to this point, and I felt like it was worth sharing. The fact that I'm even here when I'm supposed to be a statistic, I was told when I was younger I wasn't gonna make it past 18. So the fact that I'm 29 and I'm still here, and I'm still living, I'm still breathing. I'm a single father. I'm supposed to be dead or in jail, and I'm here. So it's a story worth telling.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, kudos to you, brother. We're gonna get into your story a little bit because I know a little bit about your background. Dr. Now actually told me, man, you got to get JD, the author, on your show. He's an amazing gentleman, has an amazing story. So let's start from the beginning, bro. I understand that it started out bleak, and again, congrats to where you are today. So you actually born in some rough circumstances. Do you want to go that far back?
Yeah, we could go. My mother. I never got to meet her, but she was addicted to drugs. She was addicted to crack, and I was born a crack baby. So I was given straight to the system. I was born into foster care. I bounced around different foster homes. I eventually got adopted. I went to jail when I was 11 for armed robbery. I ended up doing 2 years.
Wait a minute. You robbing somebody with arms at 11?
Yeah, I started playing with guns early. I jumped into the streets really early. It's because that's all I knew. That's all I was around me. When you're young, you don't, we all young. Like, I got a line in my first chapter. I say, in kindergarten or first grade, nobody ever said they wanted to be a drug dealer, a gangster. Nobody ever wanted to be those things. So that was never in our intent to do these things. So it just kind of happens with the patterns of life, the patterns and the cycles of things we see in our environments. And unfortunately, I just happen to be in one of them environments where violence rules, where violence is the main thing, and I just got sucked right into it.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning that when you have a situation like where you grew up and where you were born in that era where crack, it was everywhere. It was an epidemic the same way opioids are an epidemic today. But of course, our epidemic was treated a lot differently
Yeah.
than the epidemic. It wasn't get these people some help, it's lock these people up and get them
Exactly.
off the streets. And let's talk about that experience. So you were born into the system, into foster care, and a lot of people don't realize or understand how that whole system works. So being born in it, was it group home? Was it a single family that kind of got you through from stage to stage to stage? How was that experience?
Um,
Like you didn't know anything else but that if you were born into the system, right?
yeah, it was just different. It was always being in a different house. No
Mm,
stability, always living with a different family under like learning early that I don't belong, like abuse and just different things from just seeing different people and just understanding that I don't have a mother and father. I remember the first time I was young, when the first time I heard I didn't have a mother and father, I was young. And it just
mm,
was like, I didn't even know how to take it, It's just like, because most of my foster mothers, I had to call them by their name.
mhm,
So it was just that, like, and then I always got treated differently. So it
mhm.
just became a norm. It got normalized. The pain got normalized.
Yeah, yeah,
I got a
and
chapter.
that's
That's why I got a chapter in my book called "Normalizing the Pain," because for
mhm.
me, pain was normalized early.
Yeah. Got you, got you, got you. And did you ever have one family that took you years through, or was it every couple years you were changing and moving
Um,
around?
for me, this is how I went. For the first early half, it was like I was bounced around, and then when I eventually, like I said, I was fortunate enough. I guess I was fortunate. They would say I got adopted
Hmm.
by a family. I'm not gonna say it was the best, but it was better than the rest. It
Got you.
was better than the rest of the ones I was in.
Yeah, and having some stability, even if the stability is a little rocky, at least you can start developing a routine and kind of like every day I'm going back to the same place. I know the rules are pretty much the same, whether I like the rules or I don't like the rules. I can
Yeah.
start building some expectation around the way my life is going. And what were the types of environments in the homes like? Because I can imagine that when it comes to foster care, even people who want to do the good thing, they don't always have the means, and they got a good heart, but they might not be able to afford really to have extra kids come live with them and that kind of stuff. And I know not every situation is an abusive, wrecked place, but some are, and I know some are gaming the system just for a check, and they'll bring those kids in just to make some money. Did you experience any of that stuff as well?
To be honest, that's the only type of homes I had was the ones that was just doing it for extra money. I never had a person that did it for the love of being a foster parent. They just
Wow.
everyone I had, they did it for money. So
Hmm. Got you.
that's
Got
the
you.
type of environments. I guess that's where the abuse came in at. And like I said, I had, well, you read it. Everybody get the book. They read about it. I had one foster home where it was really rough. I experienced a lot of things in there, and that one foster home shaped my life, and it
Mhm.
completely, it took me on the path I went on.
Gotcha, gotcha. Because I think a lot of people miss that there's foster homes in affluent communities. There's foster parents and homes in not so affluent communities. So the poverty is still there. You're just in a home that you don't have parents,
Yeah,
and but
you add poverty, and then you add this child is not mine, and it's just a check.
mhm.
You get that's a formula for disaster right there. That's just a formula for disaster.
Yeah, well, we share that in common, but I was actually with family, and I'll tell you briefly a little bit about my story. Um, I had suffered abuse and neglect, both physically and sexually, mentally, and I was with family. But what happened with me is I was shipped from New York. My mom was living in New York. She was in an abusive relationship, so she shipped me to my grandparent. And I was supposed to go to my dad, and my grandparents was just a layover, but my dad didn't show up, so I ended up staying with my grandparent. And I remember, bro, and I can't compare my experience to yours because these were my family, but I remember, being my mom or my dad is not in the home, and my cousins all got their parents with them. And when it's time to go to McDonald's, it's time to go to movies, it's time to go to theme parks. It's like Cortez can't go. We don't have enough money to take him with us. And I
Yeah,
remember the neglect of that. And for me, I don't know about you, bro, but even with the physical and the sexual abuse, the neglect seemed to have a bigger scar on my life.
Yeah,
And
it did. Yeah.
is that your experience?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The fact, like going to birthday parties and you can't even eat nothing, you know. So, or like sometimes not getting fed dinner, and you watching her child eat, and it just be like it just builds something inside you, you know. It puts a sense of hate inside you, like it make you
Yeah.
kind of hate a little bit.
Yeah. And that was something that I had to deal with. I didn't know my mom was going through an abusive relationship when I was
Mm.
in this situation being abused. I started just thinking and developed later on a little bit of a ill feeling towards my mom. Like, why would you send me to this place in this situation? But that was her exit strategy to get out of the abusive relationship she was in. She started
Yeah,
sending the kids away one at a time so that she can ultimately escape. So we've since mended that, but that was hurtful going through that. So if you guys are just tuning in, this is Justin JD, the author, Reeves, and we're talking about post-traumatic streets disorder, his new best-selling book, and we're going to get all the way into that. But I like to lay the foundation in the background first before we get into that. And right now, we're going to do one of my favorite segments in the show, bro. That's called 1 Minute Motivation. This is where I'm going to play a short motivational video. It's usually 60 to 90 seconds or so. I'm going to ask you to just comment a takeaway, something that you heard that stood out for you. I'm going to give a takeaway. Our audience normally gives a couple takeaways as well. So let's get into 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
A great life is built not by revolution. A great life is built by evolution. Small and steady wins the race. What you do every day is far more important than what you do once every decade. I want you to really think about that idea. What you do every day is simply your life in miniature. And as you live every single day, so you're crafting your life. What you do over the next hours is really building your future. And if you can just get every single pocket of 24 hours right as best as we humanly can, the rest of our life is going to take care of itself. So small wins matter.
I don't know about you,
that was
bro.
deep. That was deep.
That's heavy,
That was
man.
deep.
That's heavy.
That
The
was
reason
deep.
I love this is because you and I, as well as everybody else listening live or on the replay, we all just listen to the same clip. But based on our life experiences, we all heard something different. So what did you hear?
Exactly. All right, so for me, I'm gonna show you something. I really want to show you this. For me, the small wins matter the most, right? I had to realize that, like, I had to stop looking at how far I got to go and I had to appreciate how far I came. And for me doing that, right, like when I started writing, like for writing a book, it's a journey. Writing a book is a journey. But I had to find a way to complete it. So for me, I don't know if y'all can see this, but you see them green little checks. Yeah. When I started writing my chapter titles. Every time I put a green check, it motivated me to get another one. So it was just little things I did to get the book done that pushed me further until I was like, oh, I'm done, you know? Yeah. So just accomplishing it, like just doing little things to accomplish the big main goal, and it's very important. Finding them small victories.
I love that. That's what stood out to me as well. Life is not built by revolution. It's about evolution. Just grow a little bit every day. Just evolve just a little bit every day. And I like your check mark system, because one of the things that we don't do enough of is give ourselves a pat on the back for those little wins, right? If it's not major, where we can go celebrate, throw a party and go hang out and all that kind of stuff, we don't like the little wins. We got to give ourselves a pat on the back for that. Maximizing your 24 hours, man. Like you said, try to live the most you can out of every minute of every day. And I'm trying to get the most out of all of my 24 hours, right?
Exactly.
They like to say that life is short. And I get why they say that. And I say life is short, but it's surprisingly long. right?
Yeah.
You mess around and be screaming life is short all in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you mess around and look up, you 60 years old, still screaming life is short, and you ain't done nothing because you think life is short, right?
Yeah.
So you got to put the time in, you got to put the energy in, you got to put the effort in, and maximize the time that you have on this planet. I think it was Les Brown I heard say he's trying to live full and die empty. And that's my approach to life. I'm going to live full to give everything that I got. And when it's over, I don't want to have nothing left. I want to die empty.
That's, I mean, yesterday I was mad about something. And I asked myself, I said, yo, if this was your last 24 hours, what would you do? Would it matter? If this was your last, if you know you had 24 hours left on this earth and you was out of here after 24 hours, would it matter?
Yeah.
Would it be important? What would you be doing? You know? So that's a new mindset I'm adapting. Is it worth it?
That's a great perspective to have, bro. That is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the JD the author version. Guys, if you have not already grabbed the book, go to jdtheauthor.com so you can get yourself a copy of Post-Traumatic Streets Disorder and learn how you can overcome anything. It ain't about where you start. Some of us started with some jacked up circumstances and situations, but that ain't got to be how it ends. So make sure you guys go to jdtheauthor.com to get yourself
Amazon.com too. It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon as well. So jdtheauthor.com or amazon.com. Get yourself a copy of Post-Traumatic Streets Disorder. So, bro, you came through the brokenness. About what age did you get adopted?
Like 10 and a half. 10 and a half I got adopted, but the damage was done.
Yeah.
By the time I was adopted, the damage was done. I was already drawn to the streets. That's where like the love was coming from. So when I would go outside, it'd be the guys on the corner. It'd be the guys who were doing and who they say would do negative things would show me the most love. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys when I'm hungry and my foster mother wasn't feeding me. Those are the guys that would take me in the store and buy me something to eat. So that's why I fell in love with it, because it was like, oh, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Even young, I seen it. I seen it early. Like I said, early. I had to be like 7, 8, 9. I seen it, you know. Yeah. So my journey started real young.
And that's when your mind is most impressionable. Is like, wait a minute, in this structure, I don't get fed, but over here, I get fed. I get loved on. I get the attaboys. I get the pat on the backs. I get words of encouragement. So naturally, I'm going to be in the environment or want to be in the environment where I get the most love. And at that time, you don't understand what crime really is and that kind of stuff. You just know that these guys hang out every day. They show me love whenever I'm around. So
they got money.
They got money.
Exactly.
I want to be around them.
Exactly. I want to be one of them. That's what it was. I want to be one of them. You know, for me, and I, like I said, I really was drawn to it. I was every chance I got, I was around it. Every chance, and then it just drifted off. Like I started smoking weed at 9 years old.
Dang.
I hit my we hit a burglary. I was like 9 and a half. So it was like things just spiraled, and it just went like it just went out of control for me.
Yeah, and I think this is worth noting as well. When you mix pain and passion, you get courage, right? So you have the pain of not being taken care of. So that made you naturally want to get out here and take care of yourself. You had a passion to be like the guys who were doing this stuff. And that gave you courage at 9 years old to want to go up to somebody's house. That gave you courage to want to go and grab a gun and start doing that stuff. And you started becoming that dude very early. So
it's a cycle. It's all a cycle. It's all a cycle.
Absolutely. And I say this often. I heard someone say the definition of power is when you can define someone else's existence and have them adopt that definition as their own, right? Who told us we live in the ghetto?
Right?
They gave us that definition of the lifestyle that we're living because that lifestyle benefits them. It drives an entire system. Do you know how many people the criminal justice system employs in this country? Are you kidding me?
It's all a mind. It's all a mindset. That's the purpose of me writing this book, because a lot of people are judgmental to it, and they don't understand that there's really people out here that didn't have a choice. Like if they would have, if you would have gave me a choice, I wish I would have had a silver spoon. I wish I never did nothing. I wish I never knew what a gang was. I wish I never knew none of these things. But it just happened. That's the environment I'm from. So it's a lot of people, before you write them off, understand that so many people were forced this. So many people didn't choose this. Yes, some people do choose it, but there's people out here that really did not choose this life, and it just happened to be where they lived at.
Yeah, and I know some people who are like third, fourth, fifth generation criminal families. Like those people didn't have a choice either. Like being brought up in, this is what we do. We don't do school. We do dope, drugs, gang, rob, hustle, steal, credit card schemes, bad check, whatever our thing is. This is the way our family gets down. And you are almost like jumped into the family, even when you're born in some of those situations. And that's what I realized, that there's not some people do have a choice. I remember when I hit the streets, even though I was fourth born of 6 children on welfare, raised by a single mom, I still knew I had a choice. But I wanted to be in the streets because, like you, I saw those guys as respectful. And my trauma from being neglected, that translated to me to not being respected. Yeah. So I wanted to then go and figure out, okay, how can I become respected? Well, the drug dealers and the hustlers will get the most respect. So I'm going to go become one of them so I can get some respect, right? 11 years old, going through the now criminal justice system. Now you went through one system, foster care system.
Yeah.
And my girl Glenda says, listen, foster care systems can be brutal. Former child care protective services worker, and I witnessed a lot of misfortune. So you kind of got to that, you through one system, navigating one system, and then another system is put on top of that system, which is the criminal justice system. At 11, you're going to do some time. What was that experience like?
Basically for me, I didn't really have no stability so it didn't do nothing to me. Like whatever, like I said in the book, whatever that judge was trying to accomplish, it did the exact opposite. Because really, it just really showed me how to be a better criminal. Because now I'm around 16, 17-year-olds who's been out there even longer. So listening to the schemes and listening to everything, it's really just teaching me how to be more of a criminal than I was before I came in here. That's all that they did, was really just elevate my criminal status a little bit more. It just showed me I had heart. I could survive really on my own. Okay, I already knew I wasn't scared to fight, but in here, ain't nobody gonna break up this fight. It's a possibility this fight might not be broken up for a second. So, all right, so I just gotta get it, and by any means necessary mindset.
Yeah. So it took you from this is what I want to do, and a mindset that says, once I'm in here with older guys and I'm listening to the way they think and the way they move, and I'm standing on my own, I'm holding my own. Not only
I know I could do it.
This is something that I can be good at.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it became for me. Oh, I could really do this. I can. Oh, jail is nothing. This is nothing. I can do this. This is nothing. And it was up from there.
Gotcha. So you got out a couple years, back to the same family. I'm assuming,
but they moved to the suburbs, so it made it interesting. So now the environment changed, but I'm still who I am. So, but now I'm in high school. So I'm in more of a suburb area. So you taking a kid that has been in the ghetto his whole life, and you moving him into the suburbs, and it didn't work. The change of environment did not work.
Gotcha. So that to me says that maybe your foster parents evolved a little bit. They got their weight up a little bit. So they, Jefferson's moving on up a little bit, but they got this, dare I say, terror coming back to the house that they helped create.
Exactly.
And now you coming back in high school, and now you're doing your thing, man. So I can imagine, bro, with feeling yourself like, I done time, man. It's nothing. And if that's the worst the system has to offer, if I get caught, I'm just gonna go do a little bit more time. I've already done that. I know I can do that. So confidence through the roof when it comes to street game.
Yeah, and I really just didn't care. As a kid, I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about dying. I didn't care. I didn't have a friend. Like, I was missing a piece of me. The most important thing, my mother. I never even got to see my mother's face growing up. Like, I don't know what she looked like to this day. I never seen my mother or my father's face. So a piece of me was always missing. That's a piece of me that'd never be filled. So I really didn't care. I knew I was missing something. So I battled depression a lot. When I was 15, I tried to commit suicide, but it didn't happen. You know, the gun didn't. For some reason, why the gun did not go off. I'm thankful now. I'm happy now, but it didn't. The gun didn't go off, and I'm still here. But I didn't care. I really didn't care whether I lived or died, whatever happened. Like, I wasn't acting out. I just really didn't care. Like, it was whatever.
Yeah, I remember I lost my brother to gun violence when he was 19 years old, 25, 26 years ago. And I remember him talking about the stages of not caring, right? It's like, some people don't care about what you think of them. Like, some people don't care about what they'll do to you. And then you have what sounds like the level that you got to. Some people don't care about what they'll do to you or what will happen to them.
Yeah.
And that's the most dangerous type of person, because they have no regard for nothing, you or themselves, right? How did you start climbing back from that mindset?
It slowly started happening as I had children. I had my first son at 17.
Okay.
And, so like that kind of, I'm not gonna say pulled me away, but it kind of gave me the second thought of, like, I need to be here for him, you know? So like, I was still crazy. I was still doing a lot of crazy things. But having kids, I had 3 back to back, and I had 17, 18, 19. I was having kids, and it was like, all right, I kind of need to slow down. So I tried to do the working thing. Of course, it didn't always work out. Going to get a job, it didn't always work out. So I would be back and forth between that and the streets. It was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And but in my life, I knew I could do more. I just knew I could do more. I knew I could do something better. Like, I always like had a heart for people, in a sense. Like, if you was somebody I cared about, I'll give you the shirt off my back, you know? I'd probably give you a kidney, for real. Like, if I love you, that's just how I love you. If I love you, I love you forever. And for me, the change, I would say, happened recently, to be honest. Like, like I've always been, but like the real change came after my brother killed himself. One of my best friends killed himself in February.
Wow, man, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. So how did you end up with the children, right? So you're a single dad. And was that you taking on that responsibility as what I call forced accountability? Let me grab the kids. If I got them near me, I know that's going to keep me straight. Or were there some circumstances with the moms that you had no choice?
It was a mutual decision. It was mutual decisions. And I guess sometimes life puts things in your life. I guess because without my kids, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess that's why it happened. I can't really say why it happened, but that's how I look at it. Like, if they wasn't here, if I didn't have them every day, then I wouldn't have that second thought to do certain things. You know, when that guy bumps me in public or something, like before when I was younger, I probably just fight. But now it's like, it's not worth it. I got my kids, you know? So just that second thought wouldn't have been there. So
yeah, something to live for, man. And that's exactly. I think that's the transformation from, okay, I don't care about nothing, to all of a sudden, wait a minute, I do got something to care about. And I do know that these consequences from this action could take me away from the things that I care about. You ever have the fear of them being in the system if you spaz out and lose control and go back to your old self?
Oh yeah, no, my biggest fear is for them to be in the streets. Yeah, I don't want that for them. I would do anything for them not to be in the streets. I'll give my life for them not to be in the streets, because I know the damage it causes. Like, it was all fun when you're young, But then as you get older, you realize there's like the real consequence behind you. You realize the damage and the trauma, how traumatized I am. I had to see people die. I had to see people killed and everything, the things I had to do and the things I had to go through. Is like, yeah, I was surviving, but it's not normal. None of this stuff is normal. You're not supposed to be like, you're not supposed to be doing these things. You're not supposed to see these things. You know, like I witnessed my first murder at 9. My first one was at 9, and I've seen a few more throughout my life. So seeing those things after a while, death becomes normal, and I don't want them to ever feel like that. You know, certain people die, I don't even really cry. It's just be like, oh, I don't know how to feel. I'm just numb. I'm just numb to it.
Yeah, and that's not a good place to be in. When, like, I say all the time that our babies are sick, right? And especially if you're growing up in those environments, how can you not be, right? And then just if you didn't even have some of the things happening to you inside your home, just being outside witnessing this stuff, but then you add on top of that some abuse and neglect inside your home, how can you not be sick, right? And we tend to judge our babies, and then we also like to say that they're resilient. Oh, they'll bounce back. It's not gonna phase them. That's a lie.
It affects you. Some people don't even get to this point. Some people lost throughout their whole life, and they do anything to take away the pain. That's why people go to drugs. People do all type of things. People do anything to cope. They try to, for women, they try to sleep with multiple people because it's the pain, having to face it, to have to stand alone and face that is just too much to bear sometimes. So you'll do anything to escape that. Fortunate enough, I was strong enough to face a lot of my demons. I was strong enough. I'm strong enough to stand alone and face those demons, because and some of them I haven't faced all of them, but the ones I have faced, I have overcame. The ones I have overcame, like forgiving my mom and just having those healing moments. If I didn't have those healing moments, then there's no telling where I would be. There's no telling. I don't even think the kids would be enough, because sometimes the kids ain't enough to stop. Your kids ain't enough to stop it, to stop certain things and certain mindsets. It's not, because it's just pain on top of pain on top of pain on top of pain. So you have to begin to heal at some point in your life. You have to begin to really look within and really work within, and not worry about the things around you, and not worry about it. You have to really look within yourself. Yeah,
I love that, man. Do you ever have one of the things that drives me in what I'm doing now is I just know my contribution to the degradation of our community. Like, do you ever look back and be like, man, I really terrorized this community and caused trauma in the lives of other people because of some of the stuff that I did, right?
I'm gonna be honest, not really, because it was just the life I was in. I understand it. Like, I never victimized nobody that wasn't in the life. So like, if I was robbing somebody or anything I ever done, it was somebody that was in the life. So it came with an understanding of that's what comes with it. Even when it happened to me, the times I got robbed, guns in my face, I just accepted it for this is what it was. I mean, you're not supposed to accept stuff like that, but this is what it is. I understand how karma works. I understand how this life works. I signed up for this. I understood I understood everything I signed up for. I understood what the streets come with.
Gotcha. We're gonna get into the book, Post-Traumatic Streets Disorder, when we come back on the other side of this break. But we're listening to and learning from Justin JD the author Reeves, man. Make sure y'all go follow him at _JD the author on IG. The book is available on Amazon or at jdtheauthor.com. Keep it locked right here.
Hey, yo, listen, man, I don't know about you, but as a solopreneur, the last thing I can do is afford to miss a phone call that might lead to money. So when I found out that building my website and sales funnels on the Black Bear Success app included a dedicated phone number with boomerang text back, that was the icing on the cake for me. That means anytime my phone rings, and if I'm on a webinar, if I'm doing a podcast, if I'm away from my phone and I miss the call, the system will automatically text that person back with a message from me asking, how can I help? So I no longer miss money, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I'm getting ready to do a photo shoot right now, so I'm gonna be tied up. But if somebody's calling me about business, guess what? I'm gonna get the message and I'm gonna send them back a message that they can connect with me on Black Bear Success
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I'm, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle. That's my special guest, JD, the author, Reeves. Make sure you guys go pick up your copy of Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder on Amazon or also at jdtheauthor.com. So this book, right, your testament to overcoming and surviving, what can people expect when they start going through this material?
All right. The book, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, A Battle Within, it highlights a person basically and just people that's like me from the environment, and how you battle. It's a battle because it's you want to do better in life, but you've known something for so long. You've known one way for so long, so you become comfortable with it, and as people, we love to do what's comfortable for us. We love to do what's easy. I'm not say easy, but comfortable for us. So it's just about the battles, and I take you through my journey of my early life to where I'm at now, and the mindset I have now of me trying to elevate into a successful author, motivational speaker, and father.
Yeah, I love that, man, and that is a story that needs to be told, because more people, if they see people coming from those environments make it out and make it through, then that gives them hope, right? Because if you're at 29, can reach somebody at 17 when that baby is first born, now that saves them 12 years of continuing that street life, and maybe they turn it around right then, right? That creates a better place in life for the newborn, creates a better life for them. They make different decisions. I love that. And you said the book recently produced and published just this past month?
Yeah, November. It was published in November. I've been writing since I've been 15 though. I've been writing since I've been 15. This is something I've always wanted to do since I was 15. I started writing while I was incarcerated in the juvenile center again. I was doing like 18 months this time. And I had started writing speeches. I started doing speeches and stuff, and I was winning them. I was winning speeches, and then I just started writing, and then everybody around was like, "Yo, you are talented." So deep down, I was like, "I'm gonna write a book one day." I wanted to write, so I started. Like, there's a few times in my life I was like, "Let me try," and I just couldn't get it done. Like, I couldn't, because it's such a journey. But this final time, I fought through it. I was determined. I wasn't gonna let nothing stop me. My kids, like I said, is the reason. Like, I want them to look at me. I don't want them to have to look around and look for a role model. I want them to look right at me and say, my dad is my role model. That's my biggest thing. I want to be my kids' role model. I don't want them to have to say, oh, Blase Blah on TV, I learned from him. I want them to say, my dad taught me this, because when I hear people say that, it's like, wow. Every time I heard somebody ever say their dad inspired them, I always said to myself, I want to do that for my kids. So this is my way of fighting through, to do that, and I'm showing them that no matter what you go through, no matter what, you still could determine your outcome. It doesn't have to be this way. You could change it. It don't matter what life throw at you. You could stand up, you could fight through, and you could change it.
Yeah, man. I lost my dad when I was 11, and I have a similar experience. Like, even to this day, when I see people and their dads are alive and can say they are proud of them and stuff like that, I'm like, man, how does that feel? Right?
Yeah.
To have your dad hold your child, his grandchild, and get to witness all of that, man. So I definitely can relate to you when it comes to that. Brother, we've come to the part of the show where it's my second favorite segment of the show, and we call it freestyle, because I know you got bars, Justin. You're a rapper, so I know you got bars.
Yeah.
But now, freestyle isn't hip hop freestyle. But as I'm building this media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney, I don't always ask the right questions on these podcasts. We never get to some of the main things we want to talk about sometimes. So freestyle is your time to take 90 seconds or so and just speak to the people. If it's something that you need to reiterate that we did cover, then go there. Something that we have not covered yet that you want to make sure that people will hear from you, then this is a great time to do that. So This is freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the Justin Reeves version. Drop your best bars, bro.
All right. For me, I just want to say, man, anybody can do it. Like, no excuses. You just gotta want it. You just gotta want it, and you just gotta go after it. When you get that initial thought of doing something, do it, and understand that the journey ain't gonna be easy. Whatever you set out to do, the journey is not gonna be easy. It's gonna come with challenges. It's gonna come with obstacles, and as long as you work through them, you can accomplish your goal. And that's what I had to learn. I fought through. Like, I'm determined. Nothing's gonna stop me. In my mind, nothing is gonna stop me. Like, only thing can stop me is me. You know, understanding that I'm the master of life and I control the keys to my destiny. I control the keys to my destiny, and whatever I see fit for my life is gonna happen. So I just gotta work at it. I just gotta keep manifesting. I just gotta stay on a positive mind. I just gotta push through. You know, no matter what. Like I said, no matter what life throws at you. You know, excuses are not going to get you nowhere. Blaming other people, no matter what happened to me, is nobody's fault. That if I end up nothing, it's not none of my foster parents' fault. It's not none of the police fault. It's no judge fault. It's nobody's fault but mine. And understanding and holding myself accountable for everything that happens. And understand that I am the reason why it happens or didn't happen. It's not nobody's fault. If something don't get done, it's because I didn't get it done. It don't matter what happens in that. It's up to me because it's always something you could have done.
Love it, man. Drop the mic. Boom. Right there. Justin JD, the author Reeves, man. Appreciate you so much for coming through this morning, man. And your story is such an inspiration. I'm certainly going to run out to Amazon and grab the book myself. And I can't wait to dive in to get some of those intricacies of your story and your journey as you move through what started out as a rough patch, man, that now is turning into fertile soil. And I can tell that you're hungry to gain the knowledge and the resources you need to keep growing and keep pressing towards that mark, man. So real quick, tell everybody how they can connect with Justin Reeves and the best way to get a hold of you.
Instagram _JD the author. My website, www.jdtheauthor.com. Facebook, Justin the author. Twitter @JD the author. Just you can connect with me, reach out to me. Working on another book already. We're working on book number 2 that's scheduled to come sometime early next year. So yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to and learning from Justin JD, the author. It's not about where you start. It's about where you finish. It's not about what happens to you. It's about what you do with what happens to you. And I love the statement on accountability. Will Smith has a great talk on fault versus responsibility, right? It doesn't matter whose fault it is when it's your responsibility to fix it. Whatever that is, it ain't your fault you were born a crack baby. That's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to deal with the trauma that came from that, right? Exactly. So I love that you're owning the responsibility that you have to take, and you're owning the controlling of your fate. Man, let me see. My man Daryl says, appreciate this topic and discussion. Resonates with my spirit. Heavy, coming from a similar lifestyle. We'll grab a copy of the book. Have a great day, fellas. Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. This is a conversation that we have to have a lot more frequently and a lot more often because, like Justin said, some of this stuff happens, but it doesn't have to be the end all be all. So thanks so much for tuning in. Till we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Justin, hold on for a second before you jump out of here if you can. Till we talk to you next time, get your money up because you can do it, but more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.